All right, welcome everyone to Map It Out. It's our 5th episode. We're still going, man. We're going strong. Me and Alan having a great time. Plenty to talk about. Let's start local. So we're in the middle of basketball season. Really, getting the last half of basketball season.
Yep.
We're getting into postseason. Starting with the boys. So last week we talked about Tascosa,
Yeah.
and rightfully so, having
Yeah.
a great run. But man, Paladuro said, "Hold up, wait a minute."
Oh, yes.
Let me show you something.
Oh, yes.
Came out in that game, started hot. I heard it was like 3-4 straight threes, and then, they just kept it going. Tascosa couldn't catch up, 80-47. PD wins last night against Monterey. What a run for them right now.
100%. I mean, look, I'm not going to say it as if I had any points of concern with PD. Like, they're incredibly talented, but to further emphasize, as there's still a couple of games left before the end of the regular season, PD deserves every bit of credit, praise, kudos as being one of the top teams in this district.
Clayton?
Yeah, no, for sure. And there was a bunch of that just the other night against Monterey. But like watching that game this past Friday, like I've been out there a couple of different times. Like I've said, like I've been rather positive when it comes to what it is that they're capable of doing. And very much you saw that and then some this past Friday against Tascosa. Kuda Clayton is still one of the 2 to 3 best guards that we have here in the area. You have Deuce Reese and Kyron Brown, who are absolute young bulls in the most affectionate way, respectful way. They can out-jump everybody. They can body everybody. They have the agility. They have the speed. They have that IQ as well as ball players, just as athletes that you need to have as well. Flannery, this past Friday against Tascosa was on an absolute heater. I'm not sure if that momentum is going to carry over, but I will say this for sure. He certainly has the talent to attempt to have that type of performance carry over into the rest of the season. Nodine's been a great shooter as well. The list goes on and on from really, really great athletes, really great attention to detail. And while we've talked about it, I know I've talked about it like a broken record of how great we have of coaches and leaders around the area. Marcus Loftus is no exception by any single stretch. He has been stellar over these past couple of years. He's been able to get these guys in the right headspace, get these guys in the right spot. And looking at the standings, as again, we saw some great games last night. I was out at Amarillo High for the Amarillo High and Cooper game. We're as close to deadlocked as you can possibly have it out to be here with a couple of games left, which means this Friday is going to be one of the most fun atmospheres that I will ever be around in the 806. That game is going to be absolutely electric from start to finish.
Yes, no doubt about it. And you mentioned Loftus. I think a couple of weeks ago he had a great soundbite saying, they've really bought in at this point in the season. This is the right time to buy it in,
yes,
obviously.
Yeah, it is.
But they figured it out defensively. Really took a little time to gel.
Yeah.
And that Tascosa game said everything about how they've actually finally bought in. They're gelling together. Look like a great team, and they've got a huge one on Friday. Like you said, it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to, from what I remember, I think everyone's at least going into last night 11-2.
Yes.
It's going to decide one team's going to get knocked out, and then there's going to be at least a 2-team tie if Tascosa keeps winning out.
Yeah.
Then there would be at least a 2-team tie. But, that's going to decide someone's out, and then 2 teams at least are winning that district. So that's a huge game on Friday.
And it all just makes for what has been, again, an absolutely stellar basketball season, and especially a stellar District 3 5A season. We're here in the Amarillo area, obviously nothing against the Lubbock schools, so on and so forth, but it's certainly nice to have your top 3 teams in the district all being from
right here.
Amarillo High has been stellar, as mentioned, a really, really hard-fought win, but a win nonetheless last night against Lubbock Cooper. Tascosa, you were out there for that game against Coronado. That was really fun when seeing the highlights and things of that nature. PD, absolutely amazing game, just hearing about it. They're traveling over to Lubbock Monterey. I think Kuda Clayton had close to 30 points or something like that. Like, this is the makings of as crazy and chaotic of a finish as you could possibly make it out to be. And as broadcasters in this space, as sports fans in this space, that's all you can really ask for. It's just great basketball, great intensity, great atmospheres. It's been nothing short of that, especially since the new year is starting. We've been in this home stretch of the district season. So Tascosa still has been great. Amarillo High has been really, really fun to watch as well. The Paladuro Dons, look, man. I was talking with somebody after the game this past Friday. They said verbatim, they shoot the way that they're able,
Oh,
way
yeah.
that they shot this past Friday. They're
Mhm.
able to have the type of intensity that they had this past Tuesday. To heck with trying to win the district.
Right.
I'm curious as to, running it back against the Dallas schools, the
Yeah.
Houston schools, making a run, maybe even to San
How you gonna
Antonio
look
against
in the
those
playoffs?
schools.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
for
playing like
sure.
this right now, if you put up a score like that
Yes.
against a team that was, on a hot streak,
Oh,
looking
yeah.
really good, and you come out shooting the ball like that, I mean, we want to see what you do in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, however the district, ends up, forget it. I think we're all ready for playoffs because
Yeah,
our
man.
teams have showed us that. I mean, we got some stuff in the area, both
Absolutely.
the boys and the girls. I'm ready to see what happens playoff wise.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's so fun. And I mean, I think each of those teams, Ballard, Tascosa, Amarillo High, have a chance. If they're playing their best basketball, I mean, who knows in the playoffs? Like,
Yeah.
I think any of them could make a decent run. I'm excited. I got some athletes. Mentioned in Tascosa, I had to bring this up. I saw a username. Man, I saw Ben Kinney. He dunked last night. Such a
Yeah,
great
shout out to
guy
Ben.
down on the post.
Yeah.
Bennis Rodman. How about that?
Okay, let me just say, I absolutely love that nickname. I could not love that nickname more for somebody like Ben Kinney. Again, Ben Kinney, I've talked about him. I've been waxing poetic about Ben Kinney over these past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
In this new era of basketball, with everybody being able to dribble the ball, everybody being able to run the floor, everybody being able to do everything just about, you still need to have those big men that, or even just those players outright, regardless of position,
Yeah.
that truly epitomize those intangibles. Getting on the floor for loose balls, being there, basically a 1-on-3 type of situation for positioning for rebounds, great defense. He's been a really, really great shot blocker. So he's been great for the Tascosa
Yeah.
Rebels. And you have all the makings of great shooting, great guard play, again, great coaching. Steve Jackson's been in the conversation, maybe even in the conversation for Coach of the Year when it's all said and done. Who knows? It's still going to be very tough with Pillion and Loftus, of course. But it's been really, really fun to watch these past couple of weeks of district basketball. Tascosa's been great. Amarillo High. I've been very curious about how this game is going to look this Friday. That place is going to be electric. I'm going to be right there, front and center. I'm going to have some popcorn with me because, like, I'm
in the broadcast booth with some popcorn.
No, for sure. Like, I'm trying to bring it. I'm trying to bring it back in as a broadcaster of sorts, but it's so hard to do that when, as a sports fan, as a basketball fan, you're just on the edge of your seat, just saying, "Holy smokes, these guys
let it
are
go,
incredible."
man. Like, oh,
yeah,
dribble.
these guys are absolutely incredible, and I would love nothing more than to see them all really make some runs as we get into this postseason.
No doubt about it. I'm looking forward to it. That's just a fun district. Great teams in 5A. Also got to mention West Plains.
Yeah.
First district title. How about you?
Yeah, man.
What a great performance for them this year. I mean, like I said, you talk about athletes. They got guys stepping from the football field, probably over half their team stepping from the football field over to the basketball court, and undefeated in district play, I believe. And so, I mean, first title for them as a school, and I mean, getting to see them play a couple of times, they look great. They look good. Who knows what happens in the playoffs? I mean, at 4A, they got them ranked like, I think 16th or 17th, something like that in 4A. But what a great performance. I'm sure you got to see him play maybe a couple times.
Definitely. I mean, when you have your quarterback making plays.
Right.
And again, like we've seen those versatile athletes around the area as well, but West Plains is a really, really fun team to watch as well. Another great atmosphere. CISD, they definitely, CISD, AISD, definitely school districts that have been able to do things the right way when it comes to, getting your student athletes in the right position, so on and so forth. That race, that 4A race has been really fun as well. I mean, with them and Canyon, of course, we're having that game on KGNC just the other night, and it was even hearing about it from afar. It was more crazed than people gave it credit for. So for them to finish up the season district champions in a really favorable spot when it comes to the postseason here in a couple of weeks, I got hopes. I really, really do have hopes for them. That's the same thing as we've talked about already. Great leadership at the top as well. They've had a really, really great coaching staff, and in this 4 or 5 year span, they've really put together some really, really not just talented teams and great student athletes, but has helped put those student athletes in great positions to outside of the sports, outside of what it is that you do. There's great people around the community. Again, you can say that about, just about everybody around the area here, but it's in
Sending
such
them
a
to
short
college
period
and
of time.
everything. Yeah.
It's been really, really great to see just over these past 4 or 5 years.
School's developed so well. I mean, it's just like, and they've sent a lot of kids to college. You know, signing to play in sports or just straight up going to college. Give them a lot of opportunity over there. West Plains already making moves, and I had to mention Ethan Gilliam. He's been, I mean, I saw him play a couple times. Great presence down low. He always, I mean, really, any basketball team needs a good, you know, tall guy down low that can go to work, just like Tascosa has Ben Kinney and Collins as well. But yeah, man, watching him play, he had some electric slams when I'd watch him play a couple of games. So I mean, like West Plains, I think has the pieces. Like they're you know, they're not all just, you know, football guys. They've got basketball players, you know, and so they're not undefeated in district for nothing. They didn't win that district title for nothing. I'm excited, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
And if I can also say really quick, as someone who also played multiple sports whenever I was in high school, and even back then, there were some of those conversations, not towards me directly, but those conversations of, well, maybe you should spend some time here because of the looks that you're getting this way, or maybe you're not really getting enough playing time in this sport, so maybe you should go over this way. Like that, I really could not disagree more with those sentiments. If you can play football, if you can play basketball, if you can run track and field, if you can play baseball, again, some of those schedules obviously conflict with each other, obviously. But if you're able to do everything, I will forever be for student athletes getting involved with any possible thing that they can get into. Because not only are we seeing great versatile athletes, but we're seeing those just even seeing things through social media. We're dealing with, you know, student body presidents. We're dealing with those in, you know, extracurricular organizations, making impacts in the community, doing all of these things on the side as well. I always love the versatility with these athletes, because that moment will unfortunately pass as far as your time being athletic enough, being in the great position, being a student athlete at the next level, so on and so forth. To have those things to still be sharp with your schoolwork, to still be active in the community, to still just be an upstanding person, as we all want to strive to be around the community. I think that speaks volumes just as much as the 30, 40-point nights, the district championships. And again, we have some really, really great kids around the 806.
100%. Hey, if you're good, if you can play it, do it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, be involved. Sure. Yeah, play sports. I love seeing some kids cross over from football to basketball to baseball, even track or whatever. I mean, we say his name 1,000 times, but Reed Macon, I mean, you see him making plays on the football field, making plays on the basketball court, and then you go to the baseball field and he's spiking the baseball after making a diving play last year against Amarillo High. That was so fun, man. It's so fun to
absolutely
see
love it. It's great to see.
Yeah, across the board. But quick shout out to some of our smaller schools. Groover ranked number 3 in Class 2A. They're going to make some noise in the playoffs. And then Text Line always makes a pretty good run for our boys team in 1A as well. So let's get to the playoffs for the boys. You know, we got another week or so. But who is done? The girls. Girls side is done. We have all our district champs. They're ready for postseason. Last night, like you mentioned, saw Tascosa take on Coronado. And the Lady Rebels are your outright District 3 5A champs. What a great year. And Coach Tabor, first season, you know, given he inherits a solid team, obviously, but I mean, he definitely, he made it work. He thrived 100%, and he made his coaching methods known for sure. And he's done a great job, and he wins a district title in his first year, and that team is moving right now. Even without Emily Sims, they still got the pieces. Nakia Fisher, Alex Carter playing great ball, Angel Green, Devea Johnson, probably the leader of that team. Her and Nakia Fisher, both solid players, and then everybody else comes in and does their role. Angel Green had some great passes last night, by the way. There were some dimes she was handing out. And then Alex Carter doing her thing in the corner, usually hitting a 3. But, man, Tascosa Lady Rebels, man. They had a great season. You know, they had a rough loss against Amarillo High, but you know, definitely fought their way to that district title, and they're doing great. They're ready for postseason.
They deserve every bit of the success that they've had throughout this season. And you know, it's always a shame when you're down a player, especially a leader like Emily Sims. Congrats to her, obviously, as well. You know, joining the Air Force and all that these next couple of months. Absolutely love that.
Great story by Press Pass.
Amazing story. Shout out to those guys. But you know, for Emily having the impact that she has had throughout the years, the thing that I've loved just as much as Angel Green being in those positions and really thriving in that role is even just seeing it from afar, you can almost tell that confidence is being put not just from Emily, but also from the rest of the team, from Coach Tabor, through this coaching staff. Like, this is a team that whether it was by circumstance or not, they've truly have come together and really had this next man up type of mentality, and they've been thriving with it over these past couple of weeks. Emerson
Yep.
Plummer and Devea Johnson, a really, really fun front court with the versatility
Mm-hmm.
that they bring to the table. Devea Johnson, like again, I have no real say when it comes to all district teams or MVPs or coaches of the year or anything like that, but it's hard to not include someone like a Devea Johnson in the MVP conversation on the girls' sides of things, or certainly not when it comes to, all district first teams and things of that nature when it's all said and done. So for her to be the leader that she has been, to see the progression as well, seeing her for the first time last year, there were certain things that in the back of my mind I'm thinking, all right, surely give some time, she'll be just fine. And not only was she just fine, improving on those things with her game, she's firmly exceeded those expectations and further exceeded those things that she's needed to improve upon. So they're still just as formidable as any of the teams around the area. And kind of the conversation that we were having when we first started with this show, as far as teams that can really make a run to San Antonio, I think the Lady Rebels are still in that conversation. 100%. They're still firmly in that conversation.
They play defense the way they do. Oh my goodness, their defense is stout, and man, when they're on offensively, nobody can stop them. And you also got to mention Mackenzie Dickinson.
Yes.
She's stepped up and been so good in the role she's been in. She can pass it, but man, she can score as well. I remember having a highlight, I think, against I think it was Paladuro, where she drives into the hoop, and one play, and then she's on the ground and she's flexing. She's like, what's up, man? I mean, she brings energy, and I mean that entire team brings energy to each other. They're just they're very close. I can tell Tabor's got them in shape for sure. Chemistry, all time high for them right now, and they're ready for the postseason and great district season for the Lady Rebels, but I think they're hungry for a lot more than just a district championship.
And to further expand it out a little bit, kind of a similar thing, maybe not so much when it comes to actual records, but that girls' district race also had a little bit of some seeding situations and things like that when it came to last night as well. I think PD suffered a tough loss against Lubbock Monterey. I mean, hearing about it, Ambrosia Cole very much being Ambrosia Cole down the stretch.
Man, buzzer beater.
But PD still has immense talent, not only immense talent, but just immense youth with this team as well. Meander's been one of the top defenders at just a freshman.
And she's scoring at an elite clip, 100%.
Addie Johnson had a near 30 piece, and that was all in the second half alone.
Freshman, man.
Trust me, team. They will be just fine. Win, lose, or draw over these next couple of weeks, they will be just fine.
Think about it. If you have a fantasy dynasty team, right?
Yeah.
If you've got a situation like the Paladuro Lady Dons right now, you're like, yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
The two freshmen, I mean, by the time they're, juniors, they're going to be hooping. I mean, they already are.
Absolutely.
And so I could see them causing a problem for not only the district, but also in the postseason as well.
Yeah.
They're already looking like veterans out there.
Yep.
I'm excited to see where they end up signing. Like, they go play college ball too. But they're only freshmen right now. They got 3 more years, and they could do something this year.
Definitely.
They're in the postseason.
Definitely.
Who knows what's going to happen? They beat Monterey when they played them at Paladuro, and took a tough loss last night. But they've played tight with some tough competition. They gave Tascosa, a game both times.
Yep.
So this team is very exciting. Lady Dons are a team to watch moving forward, and then they keep those girls for the next 3 years.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Who knows what's going to happen?
And if I can also bring up really quick, also concerning that I was out there the other night, Amarillo should not be looked over by any stretch either. Again, I don't think anyone's actually looking over them, obviously, but
absolutely
as long as you have Tyler Held being as aggressive as she's been offensively, she's hit some big shots beyond the arc. That near automatic couple steps in the paint, off the glass, that is as automatic as you get, or when it comes to jump shots and just people getting into their spots around the area. She has been stellar for them. Cam Sokup has been so aggressive trying to get to the foul line, has been successful in those attempts to get into the foul line, slowing the game down a bit. Kinsley Payne.
Yeah.
Incredible.
For sure.
Last night. They do a really good job getting her in her spot in the low post. Really great turnaround shot off the glass as well. So, some things that I'm excited to see as we move further, as we get ready for this postseason for the girls.
Definitely, yeah. And we gave them a good spotlight last week. What a great run it was for them last week, getting that buzzer beater win and then beating Monterey on the road, which is tough to do, as you can see in this district. Man. Had that off game or that off night on Friday, and then they came back and won last night. So, again, that district entirely. I mean, Monterey, PD, Tascosa, Amarillo High. I mean, that's another district where you're like,
Must see.
who can? I mean, obviously they'll split up brackets, but I mean, who like? One of them could make a state run if they wanted to.
Yep.
One of them could at least get a regional title. I mean, that's another district where you're just like, man, each of these 4 teams have a shot to do something special. I mean, Monterey won state last year.
Yeah, they
right?
did.
We're forgetting
Yeah,
that they
did.
won state last year.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, given they had one of the biggest names right now in college basketball,
And again, with how great of a team that they have, just last year there was a backcourt of Aaliyah Chavez and Ambrosia Cole.
yeah,
Ambrosia Cole being, still being that lone spot in that backcourt is still as stellar as they come. Still one of the top players. No coincidence that she's gonna just go basically down the street.
You saw it
and
last
play
night.
with the Lady Raiders.
She won it. I mean,
Yeah.
she won the game. So I mean, and she's not just playing with Tech for no reason at all.
Exactly.
She's clutch. Great player.
Yeah.
Man, I mean it's crazy the basketball we have here right now, at least in those higher levels in the district that we get to see night in, night out. And I wish I would have been there for that game, but I did see my Tascosa Rebels win district, so that was fun. And like you said, going to be a big atmosphere on Friday for both those games. PD, Amarillo High, definitely on the boys' side at least going to decide if one team gets knocked out, obviously, and we have a 2-way tie for district. We'll see what happens, but man, it's going to be a fun atmosphere. And 3-5A moving forward, kind of working down. Canyon Lady Eagles. I mean, we kind of knew it. I didn't kind of knew it. We been knew for sure.
Yeah.
Winning that district, great team. I gotta say, I think they can win state. I think that's. I don't 100%. Think that's a hot take. I think that's just that's the expectation over there in Canyon. Lady Eagles. I mean, that's a storied program right there, obviously, and they're still playing.
I'll come in
basketball.
with the freezing cold take of the day. Kamr Grazier's a bucket.
Man, freezing cold take.
She is a bucket, a walking bucket. Man. Great depth. They talk about a team that can do just about any and everything. That's been the Canyon Lady Eagles, not just this year, but the past at least 5 or 6 years since I've been in this broadcasting space. The Canyon Lady Eagles have always been on the minds of teams that can really make that run in the postseason. Yeah. Again, this season's certainly going to be no exception to that.
I got to mention Teresa Moe, too, man. She had one of the nastiest crossovers against Randall about I think a couple weeks ago, and I still got it on film, man. It was crazy. She had a great crossover, and I mean, that entire team is very capable. But obviously, Kamr Grazier is the leader of that team. Like you said, freezing cold take. She's a bucket. She probably could put up 20 a game if she wants to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, moving through in the playoffs, I mean, I think you possibly there's a whole scenario that I got to look through again, but they could go small school. They could go big school. I think it's if Perryton beats West Plains, something along those lines, they go big school. And if not, they go small school. Okay. Either way, I think Canyon's got. I mean, if they come across Decatur, I believe Canyon's got it.
Yeah.
Canyon is just too good. I mean, they're coached well. That program's just very calm. Very calm under pressure. And I think this year they get it done. They go win state.
They're a team on a mission as well. Like I think if I remember correctly, the last state championship was back in 2021, 2022, if I remember correctly. So we're going
made
on
it to state in what 23.
Yes, and lost in the championship game. So it's been a good 3 years since they've been to the championship. A good 5 or 6 years since they've won a state championship. If I know the Lady Eagles, any small things, almost on some Michael Jordan type of time, The Last Dance, they will take that personally. They will they'll get back to the drawing board, get back to their strengths. That next time out, you're going to blink and all of a sudden you're down 15, 20 points with 5 minutes to go in the first half.
No doubt about it. Right?
Like, we've seen that on a lot of occasions throughout this season. So, again, props to the coaching staff, props to the leaders of that team. Again, CISD basketball, really, really fun to watch. 806 basketball, really, really fun to watch.
No doubt about it. Thinking in Class 3A, I think Canadian just won that girls' a district over there. They could be a sleeper team. I think they were ranked kind of towards the start of the season, towards the top in 3A. They could have a chance in the playoffs. Also, Bushland and Dalhart, good teams as well. That was just a fun district. You look at the standings, it was pretty close, and Canadian got that district title, so that was fun to watch. In 2A, we got one of my favorites for sure. We got Panhandle. Panthers.
I like it.
They're called the Panhandle Ets, though. Before we mention what they've been doing, Riley Segura headed to my alma mater, ACU.
Yeah.
Got you a good one, ACU. Let me tell you for sure.
Very nice.
Just getting a great overall player, one that can spread the floor. He's not really a post player, but I mean, she's definitely a good guard / forward, and makes great plays. All over the court, scores, plays defense, and definitely the leader of that team. So man. Two worlds collide, a team that I cover, and then my alma mater. She's signing to ACU. So happy for him, man. And Coach Chris Garcia over there, we went to school at the same time as well. So he's one of the assistant coaches. He recruited her as well. So good story, a good thing to see. I'm definitely going to that signing, no doubt about it. So
bro.
Good for Riley. Shout out to her and shout out to Chris and Coach Goodenough over there at ACU. I'm excited to see what you guys do with Riley. But for the Eds overall in their season, at the 2A level, one of the best teams you will see.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And like I said, with Riley, a D1 college basketball player, at that level, they're clearly the number one ranked number one ranked team in 2A easily. Like I said, they all spread the floor, got great guards. Even Coach Ashley's daughter playing for that team, man. Shout out Coach Ashley.
Yeah.
They're just across the board. They're playing great basketball. I don't really know. There's good teams when they'll get, to the Final Four or just in the region championship, but I don't really know who's going to touch them at this point in time.
Yeah.
Just because they're playing great basketball. They dominated that district. They got the district championship undefeated in that district as well. So, moving through the playoffs, I'm like, man, who's going to stop them?
And of course, you've known it. You've been here. I've been here for a couple of years now, especially in this space. Just further proof that you can make it happen just about on any level when it comes to high school sports. When it comes to hoisting up a trophy, when it comes to making it to the next level, you can get it done. For as much as you can get it done in the 4, 5, 6A schools, like the Friendships of the world, which they've been stellar as well, especially on the girls' side. You can get it done in some of the smaller areas too around the 806. Like you can get it done just about anywhere if you have the talent for it, if you have the great coaching, leadership, and community around you. It's cliche, but I think it's cliche because of how often this statement hits. Anything can happen. You can make it happen just about any and everywhere. So props to the 806 basketball scene. True.
Yeah, 100%. And especially just hoping to see Panhandle move on and get a state championship. Just kind of looking again at their roster, it's just crazy because some of them across the board are athletes too. Just kind of like you see at West Plains, crossing from track, basketball, volleyball, whatever it might be. It's just great. And like you said, you got a stud. Obviously, if you're related to Coach Ashley, Allie Ashley, you're definitely playing. You're definitely hooping out there for sure, 100%. And they've got also Broxton Robinson's sister, I believe, is also playing on that team as well, Elle Robinson. So it's pretty cool, man. They're just a tight knit community over in Panhandle. You want to see them win a state title.
Shout out to Broxton as well as all the student athletes signing over these past couple of days. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Again,
what a great career for him, by the way.
A fantastic career. Like keeping up with it from afar. He was one of a few handful of players that I truly, regardless of where you are, regardless of the level, I'm gonna keep up as best as I possibly can because that kid, box office.
One of those dual threat quarterbacks you'd see. That was just like whenever I could go to Panhandle and watch them play, I was like, yeah, man,
good spot.
Broxton Robinson, man,
best seat in the house, baby.
Solid, but yeah. Moving on, we also got just one more. Obviously, you can never count out Nazareth at the 1A level. That's just, that's
1,000%.
Clear cut. Nazareth, great team, won state last year. Probably going to do it again this year. We'll see. I think they're ranked 3 right now at Class 1A level, but I'm just never willing to count out Naz. They even play tough competition. They'll play up. They'll play up to like 4A, maybe sometimes even 5A if they want to, and sometimes they'll beat them or at least play close. So, that just tells me I think they did kind of the same thing this year. That just tells me they're still a great team. They're going to make a run at that 1A state title again. So, across the board on the girls' side is great. I think we've got some strong cases for a lot of teams on the girls' side. On the boys' side, more sleeper story, I would say. Just more kind of sleeper. We'll see what happens in the postseason. But on the girls' side, I think we got several teams that have a shot. Definitely Panhandle. Definitely Canyon, I think, can make a run. And then I think Nazareth as well. And then at 5A, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's the beauty of it.
If one of those teams is playing their best basketball, state championship, in my opinion. We'll see.
Off and running.
Yeah,
for sure.
without a doubt. But man, exciting time. Ready for
Yeah.
postseason high school basketball, college basketball. Alan, I'm sorry. I know this is hard to talk about for you,
Yeah.
but they're still in our area, so we still got to mention it, obviously. And I mean, obviously, hats off to Eastern New Mexico.
Yep.
I mean, the women and the men.
Yep.
What a great! I mean, you come into Canyon, you come into the First United Bank Center, and you say, you know what? Don't care. We're gonna win this game.
Mind you, Wagon Wheel in attendance.
Yes.
The Wagon Wheel was there.
Yes.
Can I just say real quick before you keep going? Like I was saying, was out the first of high school games the other night. I'm looking at my phone, best believe, on Go Buffs Go. I'm trying to find all the updates, trying to find all the stats and things.
Yeah.
I saw that final score for the Lady Buffs game, which again incredibly close. And again, all seriousness, both Greyhounds teams, lots of talent. The LSC again,
Sure.
further laying claim to being one of the more must-see conferences in all Division II athletics. To say that I had a thought of throwing my phone across the gym would be putting it pretty lightly. Who am I if not transparent to you and those watching and listening in right now? Like, who am I if not honest? And I will say,
I get it.
The buff in me.
WT guy right here, yeah.
That trumped the broadcaster and overall sports fan for just a brief moment because still had some things to do, still had to focus on the task in hand. But it was a very fun back and forth affair, and I mean you had an expectation that it was going to be close to what we saw, or what we heard about at least back in January. That close win, Carly Motzenbacher icing the game at the free throw line. You had a feeling that it was going to be just as close, and that was very much what we saw the other night. I mean, props to the Lady Greyhounds. You're in a really great spot as we're in the home stretch of the season. On the men's sides of things, the biggest question that I'm sure a lot of folks had around here was what was the impact going to be with Fontaine Williams back in the mix, because he famously wasn't out there for the game back in January.
Mm-hmm.
Still had a great game. Still had a couple of guys getting into a rhythm. Brock Mishak was able to get going, so on and so forth. But just, again, the physicality that goes with the game, and, not to say anything against anybody, but we're now at that point of the season where, and it really has been this from the start of the LSC schedule, but now with so few of games left, getting ready for the conference tournament and further than that over these next couple of days and weeks, your best foot forward in some instances might not even be enough.
Yeah.
And, again, you have great leadership at the top. I mean, I have nothing but the utmost of faith in the most objective way. Truly, you can't really find better coaches for this men's team than Coach Brown and Coach Gove. You have great guys in that position.
Yeah.
I have nothing but faith in them. Everything, like, they're still in a really solid enough position to really make something shake here over these next couple of days. So time will tell if they're able to take advantage of those opportunities, but I would certainly like to think, just off of the simple fact that I've seen it before, that they will be able to answer the call.
Yeah, for sure. And I think on both sides, they're both good teams. Just if you look at the Eastern schedule for the women, on the men's side, they've been winning games, and they're top 10 now. I think they're number 10 in D2. They've been winning some big games. DBU, Lubbock Christian at their place.
Yep.
If you looked on the women's side, they were playing close with a lot of the ranked teams. A lot of the good teams were just falling just short.
Yeah.
And so for them to finally get that win over the women in a great game, mind you, overtime game, to finally get a win like that for Eastern, I think they had the talent, and they finally get on top there. Good win for them, obviously.
Great win
for Eastern. Both sides as well. The men just continuing to go hard. Just a great season for both sides, and I think you're excited over there in Portales right now.
Yep.
Men and women are good. Hart Briles is your football coach now. I mean, there's a
things
lot to be excited if you're a Greyhound right now.
There's momentum going over there around
those
this time.
2 wins last night for sure were great. On the WT side, women are still every bit as good. They're going to compete when it comes to March. They're going to compete very well. That roster's loaded.
Yeah.
Men's side, got talented players. They've had just some tough stretches throughout the season. I think they had gotten right there in that game last night, but the men on the Eastern side are just really talented this year.
And again, I've said a couple of different times with my old show, and with still being in this type of space, those who've known me, I'm not the biggest of silver lining guys. I'm not the biggest of, hey, well, at least this happened. But truly, in all seriousness, for that men's game to be as close as it was, and similar thing from the game in January, we had multiple guys fouling out.
Yep.
This time around, it just wasn't that great of a shooting night, especially from 3-point range. We've known WT men's teams in the past to be one of, if not the top shooting team in the region.
Yeah.
You know, not just with where we are in their part of the conference here.
Mm-hmm.
For it to still be as close as it was, and I think I saw it, I could be wrong here, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was close to maybe 30% from three. Like, it's okay for most teams. That's not what we've seen or what we've known WT men's basketball to be. So again, they will be in a great spot. They have, I would like to think, outside looking in, coachable, correctable things that can be fixed. And like I said before, you have two great guys who are able to have those guys in the right space to correct those mistakes as you move forward into the season. And it's not like you have multiple days to, you know, sulk in the loss and go back to film study. They're right back at it, you know, on Thursday. I believe UT Dallas is coming in town. You're right back in action. You got to get going and get ready to really put your best foot forward here for this home stretch of the season, because I think they're still in a position to really make something happen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think, both sides, like, they'll be just fine. I really think, I do got to mention, I think the portal has definitely been a killer to, I think, at least the men's basketball team, in my opinion, the portal and just NIL and everything. That's kind of what's been
it's
really
a weird spot.
Charging, maybe not the downfall, but just kind of a little bit of a tough spot for the Buffs as far as basketball goes. I mean, the women are looking great. They're doing a good job. They recruited a great team. But I think really, and I've asked several WT coaches before, it's like, how is the portal and NIL kind of affecting you guys? And I think in some ways it's been good, some ways it's been bad, but I think that's kind of what we're seeing. And I mean, I think they'll find a way to adjust. I mean, it's still WT. We know WT. WT is very a big name, obviously, in the D2 level. So I think moving forward, like you said, they'll be just fine.
Yeah, it's underrated question. It's an underrated question as well with this new era as to how it affects not just the Division I, because we always see that with the major publications and the major news stories, but how things are looking at Division II, at Division III levels. Those are things that just quite frankly just aren't talked about nearly as much as someone going from UT to, you know, Florida State, or somebody going from Texas Tech to Duke, or whatever the case may be. Like, those conversations, especially around these circles, should be had and discussed a bit more as to how are you able to adapt with, you know, I'm sure insert school over here is curious as to just how great Afontaine Williams is. I'm not trying to put anything onto the atmosphere or whatever the case, but I mean, I feel like we'd be lying if there weren't schools looking at the Brock Meshachs of the world, looking at the Fontaine Williamses of the world. So it's a really interesting thing to see as we get close to the end of the season.
Yeah, no doubt. Also, you can do NIL at D2 schools. Just letting you know.
Yes, you can.
I've seen some examples over in Joplin, Missouri. Missouri Southern and Pitt State guys were doing NIL. They're doing NIL here. I mean, like, if you want to play D2, you can still do NIL at the D2 level. So I think people need to know that. But
definitely.
Anyway, man, just how fun is hoops right now here in the area, high school and college. I think we're all just kind of, like I said, we're ready for postseason. We're ready to move on and see what happens in the playoffs. Got a lot of capable teams, a lot of fun teams. We got to talk professional basketball.
Yes.
We're going to recap a little bit of the Super Bowl first, but I mean, we got to talk NBA. There's a lot going on in the NBA. Plenty going on, even in college basketball level and everything, or in D1 side of things for sure. All-Star Weekend coming up. So much just happening right now at the national level. Let's talk about it, Alan. Let's do it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have all that for you on Map It Out. All right, welcome back to Map It Out. Plenty going on nationally, Alan. Lots to talk about. We just had a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that one game.
You know, that one game. It kind of was that one game, in my opinion. You know, at least in this area, not a lot of skin in the game for people in the area. Not a lot of ties, not a lot of fans of the Seahawks and Patriots. Plus, the game was what we kind of thought it was going to be, a defensive slugfest. Seahawks ended up getting the end zone, you know, late in the game. And, you know, a lot of field goals early in the game. Just very, very defensive battle. Definitely the kind of game you see when you get two top 5 defenses on the same field in the Super Bowl. And, you know, both teams fairly inexperienced as well. That's exactly what we saw. But Seahawks victorious. Sam Darnold gets his ring after, you know, waiting for a long time. Not a long time, but I mean, definitely didn't have the success that he was expected to have quick in his career. He went to the Jets. I kind of could have seen that coming from a mile away. But ends up with the Seahawks. He's a Super Bowl champ. A lot going on in that Super Bowl, even though it was, fairly not really the most exciting game, but still a lot going on.
First and foremost, congratulations to the Seahawks.
Yep.
Congratulations to, top 5 2018 draft pick Sam Darnold winning a championship. You know what I mean? Obviously, with context, not the greatest first 7 years of your career, but to be in the position that you are now. And if I looked at the numbers correctly, in a 2-3-year span, is 31-7 as a starting quarterback. That's not something that should be glossed over. In grant,
that's
again,
special. Like that's
I'm going to immediately
solid.
nip this in the bud. That does not mean that we will go into next season labeling Sam Darnold as a top 5, even top 10 quarterback.
No, that's fair.
Is he a good quarterback? Yes.
Not elite.
Should he be said in the same sentence as even the worst version of Jalen Hurts? Absolutely, positively not. Maybe debatable. Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Worst version? Sure.
Okay, that's fair.
Best
that's fair.
version? No, yeah,
fair.
definitely
fair,
not.
Fair.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold did what he needed to do. As someone who had, let's just say, a penny or two when it came to DFS, I'm a huge A.J. Barner fan. From now on, I love seeing that touchdown.
Go watch last week's podcast. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
I said it. A.J. Barner, man. A.J. Barner.
The offense did their job. Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, in an era where that type of running back isn't necessarily put to the forefront. If anything, we're going to see a lot of, Christian McCaffrey clones almost be able to catch up the backfield, 7-on-7 demons. For someone to have nearly 30 carries over 130 yards, you didn't even score on the ground, and you did what you needed to do to really ice that game in the run game standpoint. What more can you ask for?
What that told me was like, you know what? I think our best player that's going to get us to the best possible situation in this game is Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were going to rely on anybody else, really. I mean, they did, sort of.
Yeah.
But, JSN went out of that game with an injury more late in the game, not really early in the game. But, yeah, I mean, that still happened.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold was getting pressured all night. I mean, just like Drake May was, he just got out of it a little more.
Yep.
So what that told me was like, you know what? Kenneth Walker – He's a stud running back. He is, and if you get him in fantasy, he has a lot of games where he goes off. That just told me, you know what? I think our running back is our best player, our most trusty player coming into this game, and he got it done 100%. And so did Jason Myers. I really wish we would have seen the first kicking Super Bowl MVP. I would have loved it.
That would have happened too.
And I saw an article where they ranked him like second or third as should have got Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker was first, but man, I was come on, give us a kicker.
Somebody got to pull up the points.
He basically won the game. It's not like the Patriots were coming back from that,
And as a fantasy manager of Jason Myers at one point in the fantasy season,
me too.
The way that he has won regular season games for the Seahawks,
no doubt,
should not be overstated. Props to all 3 phases of the game. You need to have all 3 phases of the game in order to win a game, and especially win a championship, which then leads me to Mike McDonald. As a Baltimore Ravens fan, to sit there on this past Sunday, which was a great night. You love the spectacle, love the presentation, everything that came with it, right?
Yeah.
To see a former Baltimore Ravens coach, someone who probably should have been the successor to John Harbaugh. And I love Jesse Minter. I think the Ravens will be just fine. We'll get to all of the next season stuff later on. But it was a great feeling to see someone who was closely related to that Ravens organization win a championship, to win it in year 1, and to have the Ravens have the season that they had. Bittersweet, the true definition of a bittersweet feeling, which further led me into, and I'm just sitting there in my apartment. I had the full tinfoil hat on. I'm like, so if you would have told me that Tyler Loop hit that field goal against the Steelers, I'm not saying it would have been a guarantee that the Ravens would have beaten the Texans, but we saw C.J. Stroud put together, quite frankly, the worst playoff performance I've ever seen from a quarterback in my lifetime.
And they still had an inkling of a chance in
which
that
is
game.
Absolutely nuts to think
Which,
about.
that's how good that defense was, too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good defenses on the AFC side.
And the Texans were great. I got to see it trying to stop number 8 and number 22. I need to see that again in order for me to say, you know what? Texans are legit. So, and let's say, just in this hypothetical, they would have beaten the Texans. That next round was against the Patriots.
Yep.
We'll get to the Patriots here in a little bit because, again, someone had to unfortunately come out with a loss this past Sunday. I refuse to believe that the same Drake May that we saw and the same Patriots offense, especially, that we saw who conveniently had quite a bit of injuries that were announced after the season, I don't know if that same team would have beaten the brakes off the Ravens the way that they did on Sunday primetime a couple of months prior to that potential hypothetical matchup. So again, let's just say in the hypothetical that it would have been a close win. Let's say the Ravens win that divisional round. If you're telling me we're going to have an AFC Championship game with Lamar Jackson and Jarrett Stidham, I'm going to go to my bank. I'm going to put in my little code for my account and everything. I'm pulling everything with my last name on
your
it.
bank account.
Yes,
That's what you're...
I'm putting everything with my last name on it. That Jarrett Stidham was not going to outplay Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
No.
So there is, yes, I'm saying this with every bit of sour grapes. I'm saying this as every bit of a sore loser, watching my team sit there in the comfort of our home in Baltimore, Maryland, or wherever they would have been at the time. I'm sitting here saying in the hypothetical alternate universe, the Baltimore Ravens are the 2026 NFL champions. Lamar Jackson is fairly cemented as a top 2 quarterback in all of football. And look, man, the things that could have happened if all 3 phases of the game were on their P's and Q's. The Seattle Seahawks embodied all 3 phases of the game being on their P's and Q's. So again,
he turned it into a Ravens segment, everybody. He
best
turned
believe.
It into a Ravens
Trust me. It gets worse.
Here we go.
Now let's get to the losing sides of things here
let's do
in
it.
the New England Patriots. Those who also know me know that I've been an admirer of the University of Duke University to be specific. Great basketball team, great basketball program.
Tech beat you guys, but you know what?
Yeah. I'll take it a step further. North Carolina beat them just this past weekend.
Oh, what a game.
Boy, the hate watch that I had watching famed University of North Carolina alum Drake May, to not all his fault, and we'll get to the things that got in the way of him making a run in that game. Boy, I had a smile on my face from cheek to gosh dang cheek. Seeing Drake May get folded like the second-year quarterback that he is. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but the fact of the matter is this is essentially a sophomore quarterback in the biggest game of your life.
Yes.
It's not outlandish to say that mistakes were going to happen. The thing about it, though,
just like Sam Darnold, he got pressured all night. It was just there was no breathing at all. And then he threw the pick late in the game, which we'll say that was every bit his fault. Like,
bad look.
That throw, I was like, what are we doing?
It was a bad look, but it was also somebody trying to play hero ball because you already had the deficit that you were having.
Exactly.
I can't fault him too much, but
he was getting pressured all night. Like he had
bad look.
No time at all.
Bad look.
Yeah.
And look, man, I'm not going to pull up the whole clip, but I immediately went back to, the clip I'm talking about with Will Campbell.
Oh, yep.
D lineman gets a sack a game for 12 games, he's going to be a top 5 pick. If offensive lineman gives up a sack game for 12 games, he's going to be working for Amazon. Buddy, I don't know the last conversation you may have had with one Jeff Bezos, but boy, it's going to be it already has been a long offseason already for Will Campbell and the New England Patriots.
It sounds like this guy did have skin in the game on Sunday night. That's for sure.
A penny, maybe a penny.
Penny or two,
right? But my main point is, I believe close to 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Respectable, especially when you go up against a buzzsaw like the Seattle Seahawks defense. Mm-hmm. The conversations after that game, though, have been every bit of Seattle was the better team. Seattle basically folded New England. Like, what can you do? Drake May, you got to be better than that. Will Campbell, you got to be better than that.
Yeah.
And they know that, too, I would like to think. Why is it that the losers of the Super Bowl are aware, can take all bits of criticism, but this one dude out of Buffalo, New York, who knows that he messed up, and all of a sudden it's, oh, you poor baby. Oh, Josh Allen, I'm so sorry. Look, we should have played worse to make sure that this reigning MVP, was going to get a run for an NFL championship.
Yeah.
My overall point, very little to do with the actual game, very little to do with the actual players.
Okay.
But as fans and consumers,
Yeah.
we need to stop talking about sports as if these guys have participation trophies.
Yeah.
We really, really do. Like,
Yeah.
the way that I saw too many, whether they were serious or not, I've seen so many posts and videos of, it should have been Buffalo versus the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Like, are you genuinely going to say that despite how terrible of a game that Buffalo performed,
Still
let's
should have won.
And let's call a spade
Still
a spade.
could have won that game.
Yes, let's also call a spade a spade. Now that the season's officially over now, I don't know how many people outside of this very region truly had skin in the game in the Denver Broncos winning a championship. Look, I have every bit of respect for Sean Payton.
A lot of fans.
Bo Nix exceeded every expectation that I had.
Yep.
They also would have gotten folded by the Seattle Seahawks,
Sure.
regardless.
Sure.
But there's just this thing. And I could also just be simply saying this as a Lamar Jackson fan / Baltimore Ravens fan. There is so much defending for the losers nowadays. And look, not saying that we need to rub it in people's faces or I am a slight believer of that. Act like you've been there before. Like, don't be a full-on jerk to guys on the way out the door, so on and so forth. But we also cannot coddle grown men.
Yeah.
When they also said verbatim, or paraphrasing, that they had their fair share of accountability and blame as to how the game ended up becoming.
Well, and fans always find a way to blame something. The refs, or it was cold, or it was like,
Hey, get this, guys. Football's played outdoors.
Guess, yeah, exactly.
It's February, and if you weren't in Santa Clara, California, really good shot it was going to be cold. Thankfully, Super Bowl next year is in SoFi, so you got to worry about that.
Probably some fans of NBA teams that would blame the weather too, in my opinion.
Boy, man, the way that we can go for another 45 minutes off of that for the NBA. We're gonna get to basketball things here in a second, but in part on the soapbox, it's been a minute since I've had my little soapbox moment. Whenever I have my show and things like that,
I love it.
I had a lot of takes when it came to that.
I was gonna say, what I take from that is that you're a Ravens fan, obviously.
Yes.
You also, I can see why you were like, I don't think Drake May is going to be that good because he went to North Carolina, and you're a Duke fan. You're a Duke fan. I got you. You're not slick. Not just
that. I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong and Fernando Mendoza have a really great NFL career. But we also need to call a spade a spade. This is a quarterback from a basketball school. See, the thing about guys from basketball schools,
and that team overall was just super good. And
it was.
But don't get me wrong, phenomenal quarterback this year. Put up the numbers. And great leader. Led the national championship team. Had an LSU type of season.
Yeah.
That team's probably not. Obviously didn't have as many 4 or 5 stars as LSU had.
First round picks.
But this, like I said, this was an actual team.
Yeah.
And he was at the forefront of it. He was the leader, quarterback, Heisman, great player. I can also agree with you. Who knows what he's going to do in the NFL? Is he going to be a superstar in the NFL? We'll see. Maybe he needs to develop. Maybe if he develops, backs somebody up, then comes in, who knows what we got. I don't think he does come in immediately and changes everything for a team.
Especially if he's drafted by Vegas. Like, you're not fixing Vegas in the night.
I think Vegas is going to become a team where quarterbacks go to die now. You got the Jets, you got the Browns, and now you got the Raiders.
I have nothing but hope for former Texas A&M assistant coach Clint Kubiak, now head coach for the Vegas Raiders.
Yes.
Would love for things to be turned
crazy
around.
Hearing that after the Super Bowl when he said he was confirming he's going to go to the Raiders, I was like, man, you win the Super Bowl and now you're a head coach too. Like,
which also, and I'm sure it's been talked about already, I would like to think that was probably the reason why Tom Brady was how he was ready for that game. Like, yes, we can also go for another 30 minutes as to the back and forth between him and the Patriots organization. But the fact of the matter is there is literal investment from Tom Brady in the success of the Vegas
the
Raiders,
Raiders.
yes,
Yeah.
I would love nothing more than for Clint Kubiak to draw up every play imaginable to put up 50.
Right.
On the Patriots, no less. Like, yes. If I'm in that position, yes. Go Clint. Not the Seahawks. Go Clint. Because he's with us next year.
And see Tom Brady, like if they beat the Patriots, he's like, go for it. Because guess what? I'm getting money, dude.
Yes. He will be just fine regardless. The fact that things ended up being what it was, again, in all seriousness, props to the winners, props to the Seahawks.
Yes.
Really great position as we're getting now firmly into the offseason.
I'm glad you had something to say. And that was really funny because, to me, the Super Bowl, I was kind of like, you know what? Sam Darnold, after that, I was like, there's really not a whole lot of story. Kenneth Walker was great. Jason Myers was great. Patriots were just very lackluster.
Props to Cooper Kupp as well. Led the team in receptions. Yep. I don't know what the real conversation is as to what's left of his NFL career, but
because he gave it all in that offensive player of the year.
But what a tremendous 5 years of Cooper Kupp football that we've seen. Truly.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, he's definitely a legend for sure. Put together a phenomenal season with the Rams that 1 year and winning the Super Bowl and winning Offensive Player of the Year. And I believe he was also Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was.
So, I mean, I think he's a Hall of Famer. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
It's close. It's close.
Nowadays, I don't know what constitutes a first ballot Hall of Famer anymore.
Well, maybe not first ballot. Maybe eventual. Because, he didn't have a ton of amazing seasons. He had a few great seasons, and then he broke out in that Super Bowl year. But we'll see. I believe he does eventually become a Hall of Famer. It's kind of like Matt Stafford. I think Matt Stafford sealed his Hall of Fame. I mean, being inducted to the Hall of Fame by getting MVP.
Yeah.
I think he had got it after he won that Super Bowl. But, I mean, getting the MVP this year, I think that seals the deal for him. Anybody debating, he didn't have enough Pro Bowls. He didn't have enough All-Pro teams. Who cares? Look at his stats. Look at his numbers. Look where, like your accolade by accolade or milestone as far as yards. How he kept being the quickest player to a certain amount of yards. And what he did with the Lions. It doesn't matter about postseason accolades. What he did in his career. Hall of Famer. That's a whole other soapbox.
Now real quick, because we still got some things to get into, though.
Yeah.
Really fun weekend of football news, the whole 9 yards, pun intended. The Pro Football Hall of Fame class for 2026 was announced as well this past week.
Talk about a childhood induction.
Definitely.
Oh, my
Definitely.
goodness.
Those not knowing, of course, headlined by first ballot inductees Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and senior finalist Roger Craig. Those are at least the player selections for this year's Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Funny because I knew those four guys, and then Roger Craig. My dad was like, "Oh yeah, Roger Craig." I was like,
"No idea," but props to him.
I was kind of like,
"No idea."
Let me Google him real quick. My dad was like, "Yeah, I know Roger Craig." I was kind of like, "Oh, okay."
But your thoughts, as you did say, we watched all of these guys as kids growing up.
The amount of years I had Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees on my fantasy team.
Yeah,
I mean.
Yeah.
I know those names like the back of my hand for sure. I mean, that's just crazy. Drew Brees, obvious Hall of Famer. Larry Fitzgerald, man, so fun to watch him play. Vinatieri, man, I love it.
That's the greatest kicker of all time.
The
greatest kicker.
Yeah. I'm so glad they're recognizing him, man. Yes. I'm glad he's in the Hall of Fame. That's great. Roger Craig, man, good for Roger Craig, right?
Hey, props to him. Props to
Luke Kuechly probably could have been the best linebacker of all time if he played 4 or 5 more years, right?
I think retired before the age of 30.
Yes.
If not at the age of 30, which is him
which
and
is
Andrew
smart.
Luck.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, CTE is a thing, man.
Yes.
100%.
But the overall, the concept of it as well. I mean, Barry Sanders, he just got beat up left, right, and center. I can understand retiring after just a short number of years, but in this modern era of football, Luke Kuechly and Andrew Luck were the two guys that, as a former player, you're thinking of it almost stopped me in my tracks of, wait, you can actually do that? Like, you can actually retire and you're not even in the middle of your prime yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was really interesting to see. I think Luke Kuechly very much should be in the conversation. Was certainly, as you said, one of the greater linebackers that we've ever seen, especially in that early to mid 2010s era of football.
And he still could be considered one of the best linebackers of all time. I just think, man, if he added 4 more years to his career, he probably could have been the best linebacker of all time. 4 or 5 more years, played to 34 or 35, he definitely would have. I mean, incredible player.
I like that.
Definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm glad they're putting him in the Hall of Fame. What a class. Honestly,
now the real question, we can save this for next week. potential first ballot inductees for next year's class.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to bring up quite a bit of conversations.
Okay.
And there's one guy in particular that I will certainly champion as to being maybe not so much a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he should be seen as a Pro Football Hall of Famer. We can get to that
Let's
later.
sit on that one for sure. No doubt
sure.
about it. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that. All right. We got a lot of NBA stuff going on. We're kind of in the middle of the season. We're getting close to the All-Star break. In the Eastern Conference, Pistons at the top, 39-13, and my Oklahoma City Thunder, 41-13. Spurs, though, on their tails for sure. 3.5 games is nothing at all at this point in the season, at least. 37-16. That's a great team over there in San Antonio right now, led by Victor Wembanyama. And man, I mean the amount of guards that they put together. They got Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, even Dylan Harper taking him second overall in the draft. So I mean the Spurs are an intriguing team in the playoffs. But we can talk a lot about like predictions and playoffs later. All-Star weekend, for one thing. Let's knock that out real quick. Is Damian Lillard shooting on one leg in the three-point contest this weekend? And he's also the favorite, by the way, on one leg. Is he literally doing this on one leg?
You know what? I would love to see it. Like we're now in this era where the conversation surrounding the All-Star festivities has been very much it's been very spotty, as nice of a way that I can put it. We'll get to the other activities here in just a little bit, but the 3-point contest over at least the past 4 years have been, they even called it on the broadcast. That's the main event now just because of the names that have been in there. We've seen Steph and Clay in there over these past couple of years. We've seen Dame multiple times over these past couple of years. We've seen more of those bigger names in that group and in that conversation for the 3-point contest. Now for Dame, who has a literal recovering torn Achilles, I hope it works. I hope it does. You know what I mean?
I mean, and this kind of goes into another topic we'll have, but how serious is the injury if we're coming into the 3-point contest, and how serious and also how much do they play it off as so much more serious, but it's really not that serious when we sit guys. This is a prime example, but we're also sitting guys for 2 or 3 games for a toe injury. We're just resting guys for 2 games when they don't need it at all. This is a prime example of is he actually hurt that bad? Is he doing this on one leg? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like what's the incentive of putting him in the 3-point contest?
It really does bring up it brings up a fair question. To that, I don't have a real concrete answer as of right now. I mean, he's back in Portland. The Trailblazers famously have been in the news from the early bits of the season, from the Chauncey Billups of it all.
My gosh, yeah.
How they've been still able to fix things. From a positive standpoint, Denny Advia has been one of, if not the literal lone bright spot for this team. I mean, he's an all-star for crying out loud as part of the world team. There isn't a whole bunch of things to really be excited about outside of just continuing to watch someone like Denny Advia play. And even then, again, as someone who loves Cooper Flagg, he could put up a 40-point triple-double and the Mavericks still get smoked by 15, 20 points. Right. Like, same thing tenfold for the Portland Trailblazers. So to have Mr. Trailblazer still be out there, I think from a fan standpoint, it's always great to see the Stars. It's always great to see them back in any type of real capacity outside of just being in street clothes and being out there for the game. I would love to see Damian Lillard win the whole thing. I would love to see just something positive for the Trailblazers at this point in the season, because them alongside a couple of other teams, I think that the Trailblazers, as well as a couple of others, which we'll get to in a second, have been firmly setting their sights on this June, July in this offseason / free agency / NBA draft scenario, really as early as Thanksgiving. If we're being honest, after a couple of weeks, maybe a month or 2 into the season, you do have an idea as to who the real contenders are, who the real pretenders are, and that further just has that quick switch, that quick, pivot to all right, cool, bet. Hey, I think you're sick tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, my guy. Hey, remember that calf strain? Could be bad.
Yeah, remember that?
Could be bad.
2 years ago, We're gonna bring that back up right now, and
Yeah.
that's what just doesn't make any sense. This to me is as far as the injury talk goes. This to me kind of like exposes just how serious some of these injuries are. Like if he's gonna do the 3-point contest, obviously he's fine enough to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe running up and down the court, that's definitely different. I get that 100%. If you're gonna dunk, if you're gonna try to block somebody,
change the direction,
I get
it's
it.
different.
But if he's not playing for the rest of the season, this still kind of exposes like, oh, he's still going to get on the court and do the 3-point contest. You still got to jump, do the jump shot, and you got to do that 5 times on each rack.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit of exposed right here. You know what I mean? Like, how serious is this injury?
Now, if this was similar to the Jason Tatum situation, which similar thing coming off of a ruptured Achilles,
Is he gonna come back? Yeah.
But like there have been some news over the past couple of days of he's starting to work out with the G League teams and starting to get into some form of game shape. I'm still not buying any stock into seeing Jason Tatum at all this season, but it is still a positive thing to see him in good spirits, to have him seeing just different clips of him. He looks all right, but completely different from an empty gym versus you have 10 other guys out there on the floor and thousands of people watching you. It's a whole different type of ball game. But saying that to say, I haven't heard any of that from the Trailblazers. Yeah. Anything of that when it comes to I haven't heard anything about just the recovery process in general from Damian Lillard. Like how healthy is he?
I think he released a statement maybe a week or so ago where he's saying he's not playing he's not going to play in the rest of the season. That's about all we've got.
Which he shouldn't. The Achilles of it all.
Yeah.
Like even
Don't
Kevin
mess
Durant,
with that. Don't mess with
Kevin
that.
Durant sat out the 2020 season, despite what people are saying of he could have been out there for the bubble. Sure, he could have been. It's probably for the best that if that would have happened, it's not a guarantee that we would have gotten the next 5-6 years of Kevin Durant basketball, which is arguably some of the best basketball he's ever played. Yeah. I don't know if that happens if you rush the process and you're immediately back out there on the floor. Nothing's guaranteed nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. That brings us to let's ask this question and then go to break real quick. That leads into our map it out question of the week.
Yes.
So the exposure of kind of like how serious are these injuries? Like he's coming out to play the 3-point contest. Yep. He's also sitting out the rest of the season. Yep. Our map it out question of the week also leads into how do you fix tanking? Because injuries, rest, or whatever you want to call it, are definitely common in the NBA right now. And I mean, some will just come out right out and say it like, we're resting this guy. Yep. That's all we got. Yep. Or they say he's got a toe injury, he's got a pinky injury, whatever it might be. So and a lot of us fantasy managers, definitely bettors and all that, see right through that. And it's used for taking. Prime example right now, the Utah Jazz.
Yeah. Nurkic
has sat more games being fully healthy than I know. Lauri Markkanen, I mean, he's missing quarters just because, you know what, we're trying to get a pick, right? And then I'm trying to think who else. They'll sit
Keontae George will play some great ball as well. He'll have a 30 ball, and all of a sudden he plays no more than 15 minutes.
Exactly. And they just traded for Triple J.
Yep.
I don't know where the Utah Jazz are at right now. That just it just looks like a very blatant tanking job right now. They've even asked coach about it sometimes. In my opinion, so we're talking about tanking. I think what you got to do is this: when you have something this blatant, obviously in front of your eyes, you've got to dish out some fines.
Yep.
For one thing. I mean, maybe even some suspensions.
Also to add on to the Jazz, with all these trades and all these pieces that you have in the lack of involvement that those guys have, you also still have a top 10 pick in Ace Bailey on that team.
Yes.
That outside of the first couple of weeks of the season, nothing truly positive I can really say as to how he's been playing.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, what are you waiting on exactly? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think
people were lying and saying that Ace Bailey was worth the number 1 overall pick in that draft. Scrap the Duke of it all. I'm never going to forgive some of those insiders saying, you know what, Ace Bailey is just more NBA ready than Cooper Flagg is. Boy, if
that is
let me relax.
Shut up. No, that is a different rant, 100%. But I mean, the thing is, for one thing, what are you waiting on? They probably got to the point where like, okay, we're not going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
But still, that team is pretty solid. Like better than an average team in my opinion.
Better than what, 15 games, 50 wins that they
yeah,
have right now?
sure.
Yeah.
And I think kind of you look at the Wizards roster now, and they're kind of the same way. They're still playing their guys. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. They got a good roster. They're playing their guys. They're seeing what they got. The Jazz are not exactly doing that. Underdog did release this thing. I had to read this. Will Hardy on how close he was to putting Jaren Jackson Jr. and Laurie Markkinen back in the game in the fourth quarter. This was a night or two ago. He just simply said, "I wasn't." And it's just that's how blatant it is right now. Like, there's other teams that do this, not just the Jazz, but the Jazz are just really doing this in plain sight right now. And it's annoying to watch. For one thing, for the fans too, not just bettors in fantasy. Think of a 10-year-old kid who wants to see over there in Salt Lake City, wants to see Markkinen play, wants to see Keontae George play, wants to see Ace Bailey play. And there may be maybe people that clown me for that. Maybe people don't care that much about those players.
But those fans
but
exist.
That's your team.
Yeah.
That's your team. You want to see your main players, the players that you love, that you probably have a jersey of. They're all sitting out tonight, the night that you buy tickets, that your dad buys you tickets, and you're going to the game. They're all out. You're seeing so-and-so role player playing on the court, and you're like, who is this guy?
Yep.
That's another frustrating thing, too. You want to see the main players. Bettors in fantasy also want their guys on the court. It's just very annoying. So I think suspensions, fines. I was telling you, put the minimum games up for postseason awards. I would say put it at 72. Why not? Put it at 72, 73.
Okay.
Also, do an all-star limit as well. You want to be an all-star? You're playing at least, what would it be? You're playing at least 40 games before the all-star break. I think is what would be good. The all-star break is what, at like 50?
Like around like the early 50s mark.
50 mark. So I'd say play 40. Play 42 if you want to, or 45, honestly, if you're going to be in the all-star game. Because early in the season, you're fighting for postseason early in the season. So I'd say
I'm not mad at that.
Raise those limits, fines, and suspensions as well.
I'm not mad at it, truly. I mean, seeing games, also as fantasy managers of Isaiah Collier, who had a really great game for Utah, someone who, no disrespect to them, but I literally wasted 2 draft picks on DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. I'll talk about another team that you have
DeMar
veterans
DeRozan's
there.
been all right.
Like he's been all right. Like the true definition of hit or miss. There'll be games where Russell Westbrook puts up 2017 numbers, and then the very next game he puts up 2018, 2019 numbers, which
bench numbers,
not that great. Let's just say,
no,
you know what I mean. But it's like I do understand wanting to hunker down on the tanking of it all. Not everybody's going to be the process. Not everyone's going to be Sam Hinkie with the Philadelphia 76ers. And one thing's for sure, two things for certain, none of y'all are going to be Sam Presti. Like, let's just, none of y'all are going to be Sam Presti. This is from a KD / Rockets admirer.
He doesn't know, that's my guy.
No, like to see the business prowess that has been, the acumen that has been Sam Presti throughout his entire career as executive. Not just these past couple of years with Shea, not just these past couple of years with, not just before that with KD, Russ, and James Harden, but even times with the Spurs. Like, he is a true, in comparison to the other GMs across the league, he is a true anomaly because you don't really have the wiggle room to have your cake and eat it too. The only 2 teams that have been in that conversation were the prime dynasty Golden State Warriors, and just recently with the Boston Celtics with Brad Stevens calling the shots.
Yeah.
Those are 3 guys out of 30 GMs in the NBA. None of y'all have the assets, nor just the competence, to be quite frank, to put the Utah Jazz in a position to make something work. Now, it worked for the Pistons. Jalen Duren's a great player. Kay Cunningham's one of the 3 best guards in the league where we are right now. I mean, they're number 1 in the Eastern Conference for crying out loud, but that's not it's not everybody. This whole thing of wanting to play catch up and keep up with the Joneses. Once we see, like in football, the second that Pat Mahomes came in, everyone wants to try and find the next Patrick Mahomes. Everyone wants to be the next Patrick Mahomes. Everybody wants to have the next Kansas City Chiefs dynasty, much like there were plenty of teams who wanted to copy what the Cowboys did before that. There are so many teams that want to copy what the Spurs have done over these past couple of years, or the Thunder now. You can have the thought process to want to do it. The execution is a true night and day difference.
Oh, yeah.
And like the Jazz, they just simply don't have those pieces in place.
No,
Now,
they don't.
if you're going to put all your chips in the table to bring in probably the greatest prospect out of the state of Utah, AJ DeBonsa from BYU,
Yeah.
hats off to you if that's able to work out.
Yeah. But the lottery's also a
The
thing.
lottery is also a thing.
Which
and if really super duper quick,
Yeah.
if we're going to lean into this whole thing of the lottery being rigged and all these different things, in no disrespect to the city of Salt Lake City, the state of Utah, do you think for 1 second they're going to rig the NBA draft lottery for the Utah Jazz?
Great point.
Honestly.
Great point.
Like, even if rigging is something out in the open, the Dallas Mavericks for Cooper Flagg is not the same as anything that the Utah Jazz are going to get ready to do here over these next couple of months.
For the money, for the ratings, everything. Like, they're not going to, like, oh, man, we got to get the Jazz in the right position, right?
Exactly.
Which, another point, the lottery needs to be even.
Yeah, okay.
If you are the 7th to last team, you have the same chance as the last place team. That immediately eliminates taking.
I like that.
Because we're like, you know what? We don't have a chance. We just might as well play with what we got. Maybe we win a championship. Maybe we don't. Maybe we make it to the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, you know? So even out the tanking, even out the lottery percentages, and then the tanking probably immediately goes away. But they want to create drama. They want to create, I don't know what they want to create. Just... They're creating tanking, they're creating drama, but like I think you get rid of at least tanking by going away from the lottery, or at least evening out the lottery.
The only pushback they'll have now, I know we got to get going here in a second.
Yeah.
But all for it. But to reference a team that I talked about a little while ago just now, the Oklahoma City Thunder basically has the bottom 7's next 5 draft picks.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it could be another limb bias situation.
That's because GM finessing everybody.
Sam Presti being Sam Presti.
He did it different from everybody. He developed talent. He traded for talent that he didn't know. Nobody really knew was talent.
Yeah.
They developed. They got picks. And so that's really just on those teams and on the
fair.
NBA.
That's fair.
I would say, because he just finessed everybody.
Yeah.
I would. That's it is what it is.
What I
the lottery is completely different. I think if the teams are trying to play for a percentage at a high pick, why are you tanking? You know what I mean? Even it out, completely eliminate it.
Well, what I've learned over the past couple of weeks is that there are more Nico Harrisons than there are Sam Prestis in the NBA. Like, and unfortunately, that Nico Harrison
closer to Nico Harrison for sure.
And that guy might be GMing your favorite team.
I don't know if anybody could be Nico Harrison. Maybe quietly, but
you'd be surprised.
Trading away Luka,
inexcusable.
That's a chat for next week for sure. All right, we got to take a quick break. We're gonna make some picks, and then we got a fun question this week. I like it. I think it's good.
I love it.
And,
I really do love this.
Hope you got a good guy. I got a good guy for that question.
Yes,
so let's do it. All right, we'll be right back on Map It Out. All right, welcome back on Map It Out. We got some picks to make real quick. Talking college basketball right now. Texas Tech and Arizona this Saturday. Man, that's a good game. Number one team in the nation, Arizona. Texas Tech coming to their place. Texas Tech playing good basketball. Had a bit of a skid that last weekend, but looking good right now. Arizona just took their first loss to Kansas. So what do we think on Texas Tech versus Arizona?
I think Arizona, I think, has deserved to be in the number one spot for as long as they have been, of course, suffering that first loss just recently. I would imagine you're down a spot or two when it comes to next Monday's top 25 rankings. Saying that to say, I think they're among the teams that, coming off of a tough loss, much like kind of how Duke did just recently against Pittsburgh. Now, it's Pittsburgh. We understand this. But I would imagine that they're going to come out full guns blazing. Pun intended, considering they're playing at Texas Tech. I think that they're certainly going to have the best foot forward. On the flip side of that, though, Texas Tech has been, regardless of where we are and how long we've been in this type of space, Texas Tech is my favorite team to watch in the Big 12.
Oh yeah,
1,000%. You have great coaching at the top and Coach Mack. You have great defensive prowess. Like you've kept up with Houston multiple times. Like you are one of the more physical teams in the country, and at this particular point in the season, and also in their home stretch, getting ready for conference tournament time, and of course the big dance, physical play is going to be the thing that gets you over the hump. And I think there are very few teams that can match the physicality that Texas Tech has. Arizona, I think, is one of those teams. It's just not going to be enough, though. I think Tech's going to win that game.
All right, sweet. Big upset in that
like
one,
it.
huh? All
I like it a lot.
I like it
I
for
do.
sure. I think, coming off a loss and, playing at home for Arizona, I think, they're probably going to be motivated. And sadly, it is against Texas Tech. Every fiber of my being wants to pick Texas Tech, but I think just a team like Arizona coming off of a loss like that, on the road against Kansas, I think I'm going to have to take Arizona. Just they're going to bounce back.
Yeah.
However, I like what you said. I'm not shocked if Texas Tech comes on the road, plays their best basketball and, shocks, because they do that. Yeah. They've done that the past however many years. Shock a team like that and beat, Arizona. I think they can do that. I'm going to go with Arizona for now. I am curious, too, to see where they go in the rankings, if they stay number 1 or if they go to, like, number 2 or number 3. We'll see. I still think maybe they are the best team in the country.
Yeah.
But I mean, this game will tell for sure, because they'll get another game before they release the next ranking. So Texas Tech beats them. Maybe they're number 4 or number 5, and Tech moves into the top 10. But for now, I'm going to go with Arizona. I'm rooting for Tech 100% for you local people that are watching. Don't worry about that. I'm rooting for Tech. Just a little worried, but I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to pick Arizona.
If there's ever a team that can beat them, like Houston did it, Arizona, like you're in elite company as far as your losses on this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Arizona on that one. Then also, speaking of Kansas, we got Iowa State and Kansas. That's going to be a fun one as well. What do you got there?
Well, the biggest question is Darren Peterson going to play or not? You know what I mean? Because look, not to further add fuel to the fire, but something feels fishy about this load management that's been going on for a $3 million freshman in Darren Peterson. Not
See
say
the
that
NBA
he's not
all
worth,
the time.
for sure. Like, look,
so why not college now, right?
He is still he's worth a top 3 pick in this upcoming NBA draft. He is amongst the folks that this tanking thing is as rampant as it's been this season, especially. But I don't see the intangibles. Like, look, I'm not, Dick Vitale or nothing like that. Like, I don't have all the insights when it comes to the intricacies of the game. But simply put, if you're not out there and like, there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. Like, we've been taught that from day one, playing kids sports all the way to the highest level that we've all ended our careers at. That's been a conversation that will never go away. There's a difference between being hurt and being injured. There have been some cramping issues with Darren Peterson. There have also been issues as recent as just the other day against Arizona where he got the flu. He didn't play. Like, look, health and safety is an important thing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that he's faking anything.
Yeah.
But load management in college basketball is crazy to me.
Very crazy.
Very crazy. So much so, I almost just out of spite want to say Iowa State's going to win this game. But Kansas did beat Arizona without Darren Peterson. I think the Jayhawks will be just fine.
I'm right there with you. Just coming off a win like that, I think that, Kansas beat Texas Tech at Texas Tech too as well. So I think Kansas is playing phenomenal basketball right now. I think they're on a roll. I don't think it stops even going on the road against Iowa State. I'm going to go with the Jayhawks. Jayhawks are playing like the Jayhawks that we know, just playing good basketball. I think, they're going to stay on a roll, play Iowa State. Iowa State's had some games this year where you're like, hey, what's going on, man?
For sure.
You know what I mean? So, they get a team like Kansas. I think if they're off their game even a little bit, Kansas is playing to where they're going to make you pay for mistakes. So
and to further reemphasize, the one thing that I know for a fact in this college basketball season, much like the past couple of years now, the Big 12 is the premier conference in college basketball, in men's college basketball at least.
No, it's honestly crazy how awesome Big 12 basketball has gotten.
It's incredible.
Like how
incredible.
good it's gotten. And we can just go see it down the road if we want to over there.
And that place is rocking.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Tuesday,
Big
whether it's
stadium.
a Saturday, it's great.
Big arena, and it's fun to be there. I've been there a couple times, and man, it's so cool. But Big 12 is so fun to watch right now. And, 2 great games, Arizona, Tech, and then Kansas and Iowa State. I think that's going to be a slugfest, really 100%. Fun. So I can't wait. Dunk contest. I'm going to make you pick this, and I'm going to have a very anticlimactic pick, obviously.
Okay, I
Just
got you.
because I just know one player
Yeah.
in that dunk contest. Who do we even got? What do we got here? I mean, we got Carter Bryant.
Yeah.
Not sure. Jackson Hayes, know him. I picked him up in fantasy a couple times.
And I believe this is the second time in the dunk contest. I forget when the first time was, but he's been in it at least once before.
I gotcha. Keyshawn Johnson for the Heat, Jace Richardson for the Magic. I'm going with Jackson Hayes. That's what I got. Like, I'd have barely seen any of these other guys play, and it's just sad for the dunk contest. First of all, just an event that's always fun. People love to watch. Yeah. And I also wrote this down. Where's Mac? Where's Mac McClung? Give him his fourth straight.
You know what? I'm so happy. And I'm not trying to say this as if I'm hating on Matt McClung. I'm not hating on Matt McClung by any stretch.
Texas Tech guy.
But he suffered what Blake Griffin suffered in 2011. And I remember this like it was yesterday. Charles Barkley said after he jumped over that Kia, if once Blake Griffin learns how to play basketball, he is going to be a problem. Not to say that Matt McClung's a bad basketball player, but Matt McClung has firmly been in the dunker over ball player conversation. Same thing with Zach LaVine back in 2015 and 2016. This is where Matt McClung is now.
Yeah.
I would love for Matt McClung to be every bit of the ball player that we saw at Texas Tech and really make an impact at the big level, not just in the G League All-Star game because that's where he is right now. I think he'll be fine. And if I'm Matt McClung, I want to be a ball player. I want to be a ball player. I'm in the NBA for a reason, not just because I'm jumping over cars and jumping over guys, but I actually want to earn my spot and be in the position that I've earned from Georgetown to Texas Tech, and now I'm making it into the NBA. Props to him. I hope it works out for him. Now, selfishly, not a whole lot of excitement. So, I would love to see Matt McClung in the dunk contest, but I can understand the reason why he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I get it. 100%. I totally understand.
My pick, though, you went with Jackson Hayes. I'm not mad at Jackson Hayes. I will call my shot right now. Jace Richardson, if we looked at it correctly, yes, Richardson as in the son of Jason Richardson, one of the greater dunk contest performances we've seen in the 21st century. He will pull out the Golden State Warriors jersey. He will pull out that number 23.
Yep.
I will go as far as to say he will fully take the East Bay or whatever dunk that he had to win that I believe it was 2002 or something like that dunk contest.
Wasn't he in the college? Didn't he do the Division I?
I believe he did as well. I believe Jace Richardson did as well. Yeah. I think Jace Richardson will win it. I think Jace Richardson will fully lean into the son of Jason Richardson aspect of it all. He'll pull out the Warriors jersey. Okay. He'll dunk over his dad in the whole 9 yards. I think while it'll be anticlimactic, Jace Richardson will be my pick for the dunk contest.
Fair enough. I'll take it. I just kind of look at those names and I'm like, man, dude, I have barely seen you guys play, hardly at all. But I do remember I think Jason Richardson did have a few dunks or did a few things in the college D1 that they'll randomly air on ESPN, towards the end of the season. But, I think he'll have some good stuff. I'll watch it 100% just to see what we got, see if we got any crazy all 10 dunks or just see what we have, So it's the dunk contest. You gotta watch it.
Your favorite dunk contest of all time?
Man, that's tough. Dude, I gotta say, Dwight Howard blowing out the candle.
That was fun.
Still crazy.
I like that.
And keeping it on the rim.
Yeah, I like that.
I probably got to go with that one because that is just insanity in my opinion. Blake Griffin jumping over the car is crazy. Vince Carter, obviously an iconic dunk contest, but man, Dwight Howard blowing out a candle.
Like you get into the phone booth. Gerald Green in that dunk contest as well. He was jumping out the gym.
LaVine and Gordon going back to back. That was an all-time dunk. That was just such an awesome dunk contest. They were pulling out dunk after dunk, and the hoverboard with the mascot.
Yes,
that was crazy.
2016 Toronto, greatest dunk contest of all time. My hot take though, Zach LaVine deserved to win that dunk contest. Yes, Aaron Gordon did what he did. I think he was more deserving of the 2019, I believe 2020 dunk contest where he actually dunked over Taco Fall.
Wait,
of 7'6".
It was Zach LaVine, right? And it wasn't Aaron Gordon.
In 2016, yes. Yeah, Zach LaVine won both times, 15 and 16.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pushback since then as far as Aaron Gordon with the hoverboard dunk and everything, dunking over both legs.
Yeah.
Dude went between the legs from the free throw line.
Yeah.
With every form of respect, and not in Aaron Gordon, I will say, should have had one dunk contest trophy, just not the 2016 one. That is my take.
Yeah.
I will firmly hold on to that until I am just. I'm holding on to that. That's my take.
No, I get
that
it.
is
I
my
get it. I
lone
get it.
NBA All-Star hot take. Zach LaVine deserved to have won that dunk contest in 2016.
I get it. But I mean, what a great dunk contest.
It was
honestly.
the best. The greatest.
I mean,
Absolutely.
just trading shots.
Yeah.
Like, just like a boxing match, man.
Absolutely.
That was super fun. But
Absolutely.
I'm actually when we get off this podcast, I gotta go watch the candle being blown out by Dwight Howard. That's just nuts, dude. It
was
just
perfect.
insane. You can't ever forget something like that. All right. We got a great question today. Shout out to our photog, Rick, man.
Yeah,
He's
shout out to
good
Rick,
stuff,
man.
and he came up with this question for us. So, as seen in Like Mike, right? Whose shoes are you stepping into to become like them? An athlete, somebody you love, somebody you want to have the POV, right?
Yeah.
I'll go first. You know, a lot of people would probably name somebody big, not go funny about it. Some people might be like, oh, White Mamba, you know, Brian Scalabrine, I'll step into his shoes, or let me step into Nathan Peterman's cleats. No, I'm not going to do that, though. But to me, let me go with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Because I want to step into the shoes of a guy and know what it's like to just shoot the lights out of the gym, right? Be the best shooter of all time. That shot at the Olympics where it just high arcing shot knocks it down and says goodnight. Let me step into the shoes of a guy like that. You know what? I can trade. He's not a dunker, obviously. I can trade dunking to experience how that guy shoots the ball, which, I mean, my goodness.
I like that. I like that a lot. My pick is a little bit off center as far as my general sports interest, if you will. Now, I've played basketball. I played football. Was I great at those sports? Absolutely not by any stretch. But I've had that experience too. Like, I've seen great shooters, great dunkers, the whole nine.
Yeah.
I want to shift to a different sport here, though.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily the shoes, but it's still part of the apparel.
Okay.
And also in line with being the greatest at something, to be the greatest shooter of all time, 1,000% I'm all for.
Yeah.
I want to wear the red dry fit of the greatest golfer of all time in my lifetime, Tiger Woods.
Yes.
1,000%. I put on that red Nike dry fit button down. Any course I'm on, the red carpet is rolled out for me.
Yes.
Because again, in our lifetimes, like he's honestly one of, alongside the Serenas of the world, like you name it.
Yeah.
Not many have been as dominant at their sport the way that Tiger Woods was throughout the 2000s, going into even now in the 2020s. Now, granted, not as prevalent, of course, but still the reverence, second to none, arguably in all the sports.
I love it. I'm glad you mentioned him because, I mean, that's just like to feel that energy, too, of winning that many golf tournaments, especially the Masters that you won when you came back when everyone was telling you it's not going to happen again. It's just it's over, and you win that Masters. Everybody's crowding around you at 18.
Man.
That is a beautiful moment. I like that. I'm glad you mentioned Tiger Woods. As a golf fan myself, as a guy who loves golf, like, man, I love it. That's good. That's good.
Sir.
All right, man. Great day today.
This is fun.
What a great
this podcast,
a lot of fun. Man. We're on episode 5 now. You know what? Let's get to what do we do? Let's get to 50. Let's get to 100. Let's keep doing it. You know, we need to take promo pics for this thing too. We need to post on Instagram a picture of us. You know, to map it out above that. We got to do that. But anyway, it's been the 5th episode. We'll be back next week talking probably about playoffs, girls basketball playoffs, the end of district for the boys teams in high school. Still going to be plenty to talk about. I mean, hoops always going on.
Yep.
More golf. Let's get into some more UFC. Why not? Let's do it.
I'm hearing spring training starting up. Before you know it.
Baseball?
Hodgetown right down the street.
MLB?
Yeah, man. I'm telling you.
Playing my first year in a dynasty league this year, by the way. Yeah,
really?
So, I'm about to get into that. I already played a couple of years in a redraft league, but I'm getting into a dynasty league now.
That's awesome. I've never done fantasy baseball. I'm really intrigued by it.
It's interesting. You definitely got to study your league setting, too, how they do scoring and how they do pickups and all that. You definitely got to check on that before you start the league, because then you'll be like, oh, pitchers are more valuable. I better get a pitcher. You know what I mean?
Like I may be too casual, so, like, if I don't get Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani, I'm punting already. I'm punting on the
If
league.
you're
I'm sorry.
league values pitchers, yeah, you're like Tariq Skubal, you're like Paul Skeens or somebody like that, right?
Yeah,
100%. But anyway, Alan, good stuff as always.
Likewise.
We'll be
Thank
back
you, bro.
next week. Plenty to talk about. But this has been the 5th episode of Map It Out. Join us next week. You guys have a great rest of your week and have a good weekend.
Thank you.